heart of Lagos, where skyscrapers kiss the sky and the streets buzzed with life, sat the imposing headquarters of Heritage Group, a conglomerate that had its hand in everything from real estate to tech. The company was owned by Chief Adewale, a man whose legacy was rivaled only by the skyscrapers he built. His two sons, Simon and James, were integral parts of his empire, each with their distinct roles and personalities. Simon, the first son, was a charming, charismatic figure who had the knack for making everyone feel at ease. He was the face of the company, handling public relations and high-profile negotiations. James, the second son, was more reserved and analytical, preferring to immerse himself in the intricacies of business operations and strategy. On a Tuesday morning, Cynthia walked into the lobby of Heritage Group for an interview. She was impeccably dressed, her hair neatly styled, and her makeup subtle yet enhancing her features. Cynthia was determined to make a good impression. Her resume boasting a strong background in project management and a series of successful projects. Simon was the one conducting the interview. As soon as he laid his eyes on her, he was intrigued. Her professionalism, the neatness of her appearance, and the confidence she exuded captivated him. The interview proceeded smoothly, with Cynthia answering every question with poise and precision. Simon found himself admiring her, not just for her qualification, but for the grace with which she had carried herself. After a rigorous selection process, Cynthia received a mail informing her that she had gotten the job. She was elated, eager to contribute to the success of a prestigious company. As Cynthia settled into her role at Heritage Group, she quickly proved herself to be an invaluable asset. Her efficiency, creativity, and dedication caught the attention of everyone, including Simon. He found reasons to be around her, whether it was to discuss projects or to casually drop by her office to know how work was going. Cynthia, however, noticed the special treatment Simon was giving to her and found it unwelcoming. She was aware of Simon's interest but was wary of mixing professional and personal relationship. She appreciated his kindness and enjoyed their conversation, but she kept a respectful distance, focusing on her work. Meanwhile, James had been traveling extensively for businesses. Rarely seen at the office, he was the polar opposite of his brother, focused and intense, often buried in his work. Cynthia had heard a lot about James, but hadn't seen him in person since she started working in the company. But that changed one fateful day. The company held a conference, and everyone was present, including James. That was the first time Cynthia got to see James, a very tall and handsome young man. She was to present at the conference, and she prepared thoroughly to ensure her presentation would be impressive and well received by everyone. After a successful presentation at the conference, Cynthia was approached by James, to her surprise. He silently observed her performance and preferred it to the others. "You did an excellent job," he said, his tone sincere, calm, but businesslike. Cynthia was taken aback by the compliment. "Thank you, Mr. Adewale James," she replied, trying to hide her excitement and surprise. He shook her hands, smiled before walking away. That brief interaction gladdened Cynthia's heart. She liked him at first sight. From his voice, she could tell he was gentle, business-minded, and a simple man. She loved the way he spoke to her, wishing for more moments like that, hoping he would notice her as more than just an employee. As days turned into weeks, Cynthia found herself increasingly drawn to James. His focus and determination were qualities she deeply admired, and she hoped he would see her beyond her professional capabilities. But James remained oblivious, consumed by his responsibilities and ambitions. Simon's interest, on the other hand, grew stronger. He continued to make his feelings known to her, always respectful but persistent. He invited Cynthia to lunches, sent her flowers, and made efforts to get to know her better. Cynthia appreciated his gestures but found him clingy. One evening, after work, Simon asked Cynthia to come to his office. When she arrived, he told her that He had shown his interest in her in different ways and admitted that he really liked her and wanted to pursue something special with her. Cynthia sighed, knowing she had to be honest with him rather than raise his hopes. So she told him, Mr. Simon, you're a wonderful person and I respect you a lot, but I'm not ready for a relationship right now, and I would appreciate if we remain professional. Hope you understand, sir. Simon looked crestfallen but nodded. I understand, Cynthia, but if you ever change your mind, you know where to find me. I'll be more than glad if you're mine. Cynthia walked out of his office, and as she walked home, she wished it was Mr. James that was interested in her. One fateful day, James was assigned to travel to Japan for an important business meeting. Chief Adewale, his father, recognizing Cynthia's talent and the need for her expertise, decided she would accompany James on the trip. It sounded like an opportunity for Cynthia to prove herself further, and she accepted to go on the trip. She was excited and couldn't wait for what the future plans are. The trip to Japan was a turning point, away from the pressure of their daily routines. Cynthia and James had the chance to connect on personal level. Cynthia hoped for that, but James was a workaholic. He paid no attention to getting to know Cynthia. Their discussion was about their clients, meetings, and business. Their days were filled with meetings and negotiations. During the evening, they would have their meals together quietly, and in Cynthia's mind, she hoped for a conversation but didn't know how to initiate it without involving business. After a particularly successful meeting, thanks to Cynthia's effort and her skills in engaging with clients, James began to admire her and gave credit to her for the success of the meeting. He decided to celebrate over dinner in a very exquisite restaurant in Japan. As they sat together enjoying their meals, James struck up a conversation and was interested in getting to know Cynthia. To her surprise, she danced in excitement in her heart, and in her mind she said quickly, thanks to God that I didn't leave Japan without having a personal conversation with my Prince Charming. Haha, she wished. Their conversation flowed effortlessly. James, usually reserved and focused on work, began to open up about his passion and dreams. Why did you choose to work at Heritage Group? Cynthia asked, genuinely curious. James smiled, looking thoughtful. What a question. Well, it's more than just a family business for me. I want to build something that lasts, something that makes a difference, and being here, working with my father and brother, only feels right. My father owns the company, and it's only right I involve myself in the family's business. Don't you think so? You might probably see me as lazy to work here, rather than go out there, work my ass out, sweat a lot, and make my money, right? James teased. No, I didn't say that, Cynthia defended. James smiled. I know, right? I was just teasing. So, I'm curious to know, why did you ask that question? James asked. Well, a lot of rich men children have various reasons for working in their father's company. So I wanted to know what your reason was. That was why I asked. Cynthia replied, feeling shy. Okay, that's cool, James replied, smiling. You're smart, and I admire you for that. James stared at her for a while, making Cynthia uncomfortable. So what about you, Cynthia? What drives you? James asked. I've always wanted to be part of something big, something that challenges me, and working at Heritage Group has been a dream come true. I want to make a difference and leave my mark, she replied. Brilliant! James clapped and encouraged her. Where have you been? He paused. After a few more conversations, they returned to their room. The excitement on each other's face was mutual. Back in Lagos, they shared the good news to everyone about the success of the business meeting. James told his father how brilliant she proved herself to their clients, and they decided to do more business deals with them. Mr. Adewale was proud of her and offered her a bonus for a job well done. Cynthia appreciated his kindness and that of James. Their newfound connection didn't go unnoticed. Colleagues observed their subtle changes, the way James would seek out Cynthia's opinion during meetings, the way they shared inside jokes, and the comfortable silence they fell into. Simon, ever perceptive, was the first to notice. He had backed off after Cynthia's gentle rejection, but he couldn't help but feel a pang of jealousy seeing his brother and Cynthia grow closer. He decided to confront James about it. One evening, as they both worked late in the office, Simon brought the topic up. James, can I talk to you about something? Sure, what's on your mind? James replied. It's about Cynthia, Simon began, choosing his word carefully. I've noticed you two have become quite close since the Japan trip. James smiled, leaning back on his chair. We have actually. She's an exceptional colleague. Simon sighed. It's more than that, James. Be truthful. Really? James replied. Maybe. I've actually come to realize that she's not just an incredible employee, but an amazing person. There's something special about her. Simon felt a mix of emotions pride for his brother's honesty and a twinge of regret. Just be careful, James. Office romance can be complicated. Simon advised. James couldn't hold back his laughter. Why do you think about that so quick? Well, taking risks sometimes is worth it, he replied. Weeks in the company passed. James kept his eyes on Cynthia, admiring her from afar. The annual Heritage Group Gala was one of the most anticipated events of the year, bringing together employees, stakeholders, and industry leaders. The venue was a luxurious ballroom adorned with crystal chandeliers and elegant decor. Cynthia, dressed in a stunning evening gown, felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. As she mingled with guests, she caught sight of James across the room. He was talking to a group of executives, but his eyes found hers, and he excused himself to approach her. You look so stunning tonight, he said, his voice sincere. Thank you, James. You look quite dashing yourself, she replied. They spent the evening together, sharing dances and engaging in light-hearted conversations. There was a moment during the slow dance where the world seemed to fade away, and it was just the two of them, moving in perfect harmony. Later, as the gala was ending, James took Cynthia aside. Can we go somewhere quiet? I would like to talk. They found a secluded spot in the garden, the night air cool and refreshing. James took a deep breath. Cynthia, I've been wanting to tell you something. Cynthia's heart raced. What is it, James? I think I'm falling for you, he confessed, his voice steady but filled with emotions. I know it's unexpected and maybe very complicated, but I can't ignore my feelings anymore. Cynthia was silent for a moment, processing his words. She had hoped for this, but hearing it out loud was overwhelming. James continued. I'm not demanding for your response right now. You can take your time to think about it. I just thought to let you know how I feel about you. Just immediately, she replied. Mr. James, I feel the same way about you too. James couldn't believe his ears. Really? Oh my god, you made my day tonight. I don't even know how to react. Thank you so much. Cynthia, thank you so very much for this opportunity. In Cynthia's mind, she was dancing and screaming in excitement. It was as if she had just won the lottery. She wanted to jump on him and give him a big hug. So, does that mean we are now officially dating? James asked. Cynthia smiled and replied, Yes, we are. They embraced themselves and joined the rest at the party. Their relationship began in earnest, with both of them navigating the delicate balance between personal and professional lives. They kept their romance discreet, focusing on their work while cherishing the moments they spent together. Simon, the ever supportive brother, eventually came to terms with their relationship. He saw how happy Cynthia made James and how they brought out the best from each other. Initially, it was hurting him, but he later came to terms with it. Chief Adewale, always perceptive, also noticed the growing bond between his son and Cynthia. He called James into his office one day and said, I've been watching you and Cynthia. Mr. Adewale began. James felt a surge of anxiety. Yes, Dad, I wanted to tell you about it. Chief Adewale raised his hands, silencing him. I didn't call you here to reprimand you. I just want you to be a good boy. Cynthia is an exceptional woman, and you, my son. Your happiness matters to me a lot. and so does the integrity of the company. I understand that. We'll be careful and we are committed to making things work, James assured his father. Chief Adewale nodded. That's all, my son. You can go. As months passed, Cynthia and James continued to grow closer. Their relationship flourished despite the challenges. They found joy in simple things, sharing lunch breaks, brainstorming ideas, and supporting each other through tough decisions. One evening, as they walked along the beach, James stopped and turned to Cynthia. I've been thinking about our future lately, he said. Cynthia looked up to him, her heart pounding. What do you mean, James? James reached onto his pockets and pulled out a small box. I mean that. I want to spend the rest of my life with you, Cynthia. Will you marry me? Tears welled up Cynthia's eyes as she looked at the ring and remembered those times where she usually crushed on him. Yes, James, I would marry you. That day was so special to them, and they shared the good news to their families. Their journey had been full of unexpected twists and turns, but in each other, they had found a love that was worth every challenge. As they embraced, the future seemed brighter than ever, a testament to the power of love and the courage of following one's hearts. Their engagement was met with joy and excitement from family, friends, and colleagues. The news of their upcoming marriage spread throughout the company, and the support they received was overwhelming. Even Simon, who had once been a competitor for Cynthia's affection, was genuinely happy for them. Their wedding ceremony was a grand affair, held in one of the most beautiful venues in Lagos. The ceremony was a blend of tradition and modernity, reflecting their respect for their roots and the vision for the future. Surrounded by loved ones, they exchanged vows, promising to stand by each other through thick and thin. As they settled into married life, Cynthia and James faced new challenges together. They balanced their demanding career with their commitments to their relationship, learning to navigate the complexities of work and home life. Their partnership only grew stronger, built on mutual respect, love, and unwavering support. Years passed as they stood on the balcony of their home, looking out at the bustling city in Lagos. Cynthia and James reflected on their journey. They had built a life together filled with love, laughter, and countless memories. Heritage Group continued to thrive under their leadership. Their love story, born in the heart of Lagos, was a testament to the power of connection, perseverance, and the belief that love can find anyone. Thank you so very much for watching. Hope you loved the story. Please do also like, share, and subscribe to Substance TV for more amazing stories. See you guys in my next video. Until then, stay splendid.